Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you were there? Or searched the house for your glasses, only to realize they were on your head the whole time? If so, you're definitely not alone. And no, it doesn't mean you're losing it. It just means your brain, like the rest of your body, needs a little extra love and attention as the years go by. Staying sharp after 65 isn't about doing crossword puzzles until your eyes go blurry or memorizing phone books like some kind of memory marathon. It's about simple, doable things that don't take hours, cost money, or feel like homework. In fact, what I'm about to share with you takes just 10 minutes a day. That's it. 10 minutes that can make all the difference in keeping your mind active, alert, and confident. Now, why does this matter so much? Because your brain isn't something that just slowly fades with age. That's a myth. The truth is, your brain is like a muscle. It thrives on use. It craves new experiences, challenges, and even a little bit of fun. The more we give it what it needs, the better it performs. But here's where it gets really encouraging. You don't need to do anything complicated. You just need to be consistent. The key is choosing the right kind of activity, something that stimulates multiple areas of the brain, sparks curiosity, and keeps you engaged. And one of the best ways to do that? It starts with learning something new. Now, I know learning something new might sound a little intimidating at first, but I'm not talking about enrolling in a college course or trying to master a foreign language overnight. Think smaller. Think simpler. Think enjoyable. Something as easy as trying a new recipe, learning a new card game, or watching a short documentary on a topic you've never explored before. You could even teach yourself how to use a new app on your phone or start journaling about a new theme each day. The magic happens when you step just outside your usual routine and ask your brain to explore fresh territory. That's when new connections start forming and memory and focus begin to strengthen. One of my favorite ways to do this, and something you can start today, is with micro-learning. It's the idea of spending just a few minutes each day on something unfamiliar. For example, pick a word you don't know and look it up, but don't just glance at the definition. Try using it in a sentence. Write it down, maybe even share it with someone. That extra step of engagement is what really locks it into your memory. Another option? Try reading a paragraph from a book on a subject you've never studied. Not a whole chapter, just a paragraph. Then pause and think about what you just read. Reflect. Ask yourself questions. Why did that happen? How does this connect to something I already know? When your brain has to work to understand or relate to new information, it lights up. It's like a spark in your mental engine. And here's where it gets even better. This kind of brain activity doesn't just help with memory. It improves focus, decision-making, and even your mood. That's right. Keeping your mind sharp can actually help you feel more positive and confident in your daily life. Because let's face it, when we start forgetting things more often, it can feel a little scary. You might find yourself second-guessing simple decisions or avoiding certain conversations because you're afraid of drawing a blank. But that doesn't have to be your story. By dedicating just 10 minutes a day to a brain-boosting activity, you're telling yourself, I'm still learning, I'm still growing, and I'm still very much in the game. Now, if you're thinking, I'm too set in my ways, or it's too late for me, let me gently stop you right there. It's never too late to start taking care of your brain. In fact, studies show that people in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s can grow new neural connections when they challenge their minds in the right way. You don't need youth, you need curiosity. And here's the beauty of it. The more enjoyable the activity is, the more likely you are to stick with it. So pick something that actually interests you. If you love music, spend 10 minutes a day listening to a new genre or learning a bit about a famous composer. If you enjoy history, dive into an interesting story or explore a historical figure you've never heard of. Love nature? Look up a new bird or tree every day and try to spot it on your next walk. Whatever you choose, the goal is simple. Engage your brain in a way that feels good, not forced. Because consistency is the real secret here. One day of brain activity is helpful, but doing it every day, even just for 10 minutes, that's powerful. That's how you build lasting mental strength. And don't worry about being perfect. You don't need to remember everything or become an expert in anything. Just showing up for those 10 minutes is enough to make a real difference over time. The more you practice, the more naturally sharp thinking will come to you. Now that we've talked about how new learning can light up your brain, let's move into something just as powerful. Something that you might already be doing without even realizing how good it is for your mind. And that's the power of conversation. Simple, everyday conversation. Talking to someone, even for just 10 minutes a day, can give your brain a workout that's just as effective as solving puzzles or learning new skills. Why? Because when you talk with someone, especially about meaningful topics, your brain has to listen, respond, recall, process emotions, and often even adjust tone or vocabulary. It's a full-body workout for your mind, and it's one of the easiest things to do. You don't need to plan anything fancy. A quick phone call with a friend, a chat with your spouse over coffee, or even talking with your neighbor while watering the garden. These all count. The key is to be present. Really listen. Share your thoughts. Engage with the person you're speaking to. That little back and forth helps keep your memory sharp, your vocabulary active, and your thinking flexible. And if you're feeling a little isolated, maybe friends have moved or family lives far away, don't underestimate the value of connecting with new people. Local community centers, hobby groups, or even online video chats can be great ways to stay socially and mentally active. Some folks have found amazing friendships just by joining a book club or volunteering a few hours a week. You might go in thinking you're helping others, but often the biggest gift is what it does for your own mind. Now, speaking of gifts of the mind, let's talk about one of the most powerful yet underrated brain boosters of all, movement. Yep. Physical activity doesn't just help your body, it lights up your brain too. And the good news? You don't have to break a sweat or run a marathon to get the benefits. Gentle movement, like walking, stretching, or even light dancing in your living room, can dramatically increase blood flow to the brain. That means more oxygen, more nutrients, and better overall function. Just 10 minutes a day of movement can boost your mood, sharpen your thinking, and even reduce the risk of cognitive decline. One great option is to combine movement with mindfulness. Something like Tai Chi or chair yoga, for example, brings awareness to your body and breath while also gently engaging your muscles. It's like a double benefit. You're caring for your body and calming your mind at the same time. Another great example, put on your favorite music and sway to the rhythm. You don't even need to stand up, just move your arms, tap your feet, nod your head. It's not about performance, it's about activation. Your brain loves rhythm. It responds to it, organizes itself around it, and often even remembers better when movement and music are combined. But maybe you're not in the mood to move today. That's okay too. There's still another way to fire up those brain cells, and it has to do with your senses. Specifically, doing something creative with your hands. That's right. Activities like drawing, coloring, knitting, gardening, or even organizing a drawer can be surprisingly powerful for your brain. When you use your hands in a focused, intentional way, your brain gets fully involved. It has to plan, adapt, coordinate, and often problem solve. And when you enjoy what you're doing, that positive emotional state makes the experience even more beneficial. Let's say you spend 10 minutes a day working on a puzzle, arranging flowers, or doodling in a notebook. Not only are you calming your nervous system, but you're also strengthening your brain's executive function. That's the part of your brain responsible for focus, planning, and mental flexibility. And don't worry if you've never considered yourself the artistic type. This isn't about creating a masterpiece. It's about the process, not the product. The act of doing is where the power lies, not what it looks like when you're done. A little story for you. One woman I spoke with started coloring in adult coloring books for just 10 minutes a day. At first, she felt silly. But after a week, she noticed something unexpected. She was sleeping better, her mood had lifted, and she started remembering little details she used to forget. She told me, "I didn't think coloring would do anything for me, but now it's the best part of my day." That's the beauty of it. These small, enjoyable actions might not seem like much at first, but over time, they add up to something powerful. A sharper, more confident, and more joyful mind. And here's another important thing to remember. Your brain doesn't need perfection. It needs variety. A little bit of conversation here, some movement there, maybe a new word tomorrow or a creative project next week. Mixing it up keeps things interesting and gives different areas of your brain a chance to shine. It's like tending a garden. You don't water just one plant every day and expect the whole garden to thrive. You walk around. You check on things. You give each part what it needs. And before you know it, the whole thing starts blooming. And when your mind starts blooming again, when you feel more clear-headed, more focused, more at ease, it affects everything else. You enjoy your day more. You feel more in control. You feel proud of yourself. And that confidence spills over into your conversations, your relationships, even your sense of purpose. So if you've ever felt like your mind is slowing down or not quite as sharp as it used to be, just remember, it's not too late. In fact, it's the perfect time to start giving it what it craves: curiosity, movement, creativity, connection. 10 minutes a day is all it takes to turn the lights back on. Next, we'll explore one more habit that can truly seal the deal, a practice that not only sharpens the mind but soothes the heart at the same time. And that brings us to something incredibly simple, yet deeply powerful: reflection. Taking just 10 minutes a day to reflect isn't just good for the soul. It's also a hidden gem for keeping your brain sharp, focused, and emotionally balanced. Think of reflection as a mental tune-up. It could be journaling a few thoughts, jotting down what you're grateful for, or even sitting quietly and replaying the day in your mind. This small pause gives your brain a chance to organize, process, and store memories more efficiently. You might be surprised at how much more clearly you think afterward. Some people like to write in a journal. Others talk out loud to themselves or pray. Some simply sit quietly and breathe. There's no right or wrong way to reflect. The key is to do it intentionally. Ask yourself questions like, what was the best part today? Or what did I learn about myself? Or even, what's something I'd like to improve tomorrow? This kind of reflection strengthens the brain's prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for decision-making, focus, and emotional regulation. And when this area stays strong, it becomes easier to remember names, plan ahead, and bounce back from life's little hiccups. It also helps you stay connected to your own story. As we get older, it's easy to focus on the past or feel like the best chapters are behind us. But when you take a few minutes each day to reflect, you realize you're still writing your story, still growing, still learning, still becoming. I knew a gentleman named Harold, retired teacher, lived alone after his wife passed. He told me he used to feel like his days were just blending together. But then he started a simple habit. Each evening, he'd sit with a cup of tea and write down 3 things: something that made him smile, something he learned, and something he was grateful for. After a few weeks, he said his mind felt more awake. He was remembering conversations better, feeling more emotionally stable. He told me, "It's like I clean out the cobwebs in my head just by paying attention again." It really is that powerful, and it's never too late to start. Now here's the beautiful part. When you combine these small daily habits, talking to someone, moving your body, doing something creative, and taking a few minutes to reflect, you create a gentle rhythm that your brain begins to crave. Like a garden that gets just the right amount of sun, water, and care, your mind starts to thrive again. You'll notice it in little ways at first. Maybe you remember where you left your keys a little quicker. Maybe you feel more confident in conversation. Or maybe you start picking up on small joys you'd overlooked before. A bird at the window, the scent of your morning coffee, a feeling of peace in your chest. These are signs that your brain is waking up again, that is alive and learning and soaking in the present moment. You don't need to do everything perfectly. Some days you'll skip. Some days you'll feel too tired. That's okay. The goal isn't perfection. It's consistency. 10 minutes a day is all it takes to shift the momentum. And let me say this clearly, because I know some of you might be thinking it. You are not too old. Your brain is not too far gone. Science has shown that our brains can keep growing, adapting, and forming new connections well into our 80s and beyond. This idea that aging equals decline, it's outdated. You are capable of more than you think. So give yourself this gift. Start small. Choose one thing. A phone call, a walk, a drawing, a journal entry, and give it your full attention for 10 minutes. Do it not just to stay sharp, but to feel fully alive again. And if this video has inspired you, even just a little, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Share what habit you're going to try, or let us know what's worked for you. Your story might be just the encouragement someone else needs to get started. If you found this helpful, be sure to give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more simple ways to stay healthy, independent, and joyful at any age. We're building a community here, a space where growing older doesn't mean growing less, but becoming more wise, more grounded, more present. Remember, small actions done daily have the power to change everything. Your brain is still growing. Your story is still unfolding. And there's so much more ahead for you. Here's to staying sharp, staying curious, and living your best life, one meaningful minute at a time.